Welcome, my name is Conor Nguyen, and the following video will discuss, identify, and critically analyze the appearance of the principles of animation within stylized 3D feature films. The example that I will be discussing and evaluating in relation to the 12 principles of animation is DreamWorks' How to Train Your Dragon, where the principles are used to create a believable and evocative narrative sequence that is engaging and emphasizes character performance. How to Train Your Dragon is a fantastical narrative set in the small island of Berk during the Viking era, where dragons are depicted as pests and extremely dangerous for the residents of Berk. The story follows a young Viking named Hiccup, who struggles to live up to the expectations of everyone in the village, but especially to that of his father, Stoic, the leader of the island of Berk. While Hiccup is learning to fit in society, he has a fateful encounter with a dragon, which results in an unexpected friendship that helps Hiccup learn more about the dragons and eventually gain recognition as a Viking, as a direct product of his knowledge, to which his father and the rest of the village come to respect him. While Hiccup is depicted as a runt due to the fact that he is significantly smaller in stature and less courageous than the average typical Viking in that universe, he is quick-witted, intelligent, and determined, which is why, as the audience, we find it relatable as he attempts to earn the respect of his father and fellow Vikings through his words and actions, while he struggles to change the perspective of an entire island of their preconceived notions on dragons. Stoic, on the other hand, is strong-willed, upholds his beliefs, values, and lives up to the representation of a Viking leader. He has a strong, large build, and the role of authority, which is emphasized through the actions he takes and the method in which he presents himself throughout the film, as his task is to maintain the safety of his people and oversee and defend the island of Berk from dragons. The animation style in How to Train Your Dragon can be described as realistic in the sense of basic body mechanics and movements, as they abide by the laws of physics, but subtle stylization is used in such a manner that it really emphasizes character expression and emotion. I feel a great scene during the film that represents the style of animation and character performance the most is toward the middle of the narrative, where Hiccup finally begins to gain some recognition and his father approaches him to have a conversation. Immediately when the scene starts, the principal staging is used to establish the mood and composition, as we are met with Hiccup, frustrated at his desk. The camera angle is level with him, which implies we, the audience, understand his position at this point in the film, and are on the same level as him. However, when Stoic enters the room, the mood is suddenly changed as the camera angle shifts to a low angle to portray and emphasize Stoic's strong and authoritative appearance, whereas the audience is made to perceive Hiccup as smaller and weaker when Stoic is in the same space. In addition to this, while the principle of solid drawing isn't necessarily used within 3D animation, the concept is to make something physically appear 3D or fit as a 3D object within the environment. This is used in conjunction with staging and can be seen through the utilization of lighting within the scene, as it is rather dimly lit by candles, which results in the characters having well-defined areas of light and shadow, giving them form and placing them soundly in the scene. Another prominent principle that can be seen at the start of this scene is anticipation. The technique is used to create a sense of tension and forewarn an oncoming action. This can be seen when Hiccup is laying on his desk playing with his makeshift charcoal pencil, until he decides to look up because of a small noise to which he is greeted and startled by the appearance of his father, and jumps out of his chair. This was executed through camera movement and subtle character action to lead up to this relatively unexpected reaction, considering Hiccup's initial bored expression. Secondary action is utilized in a subtle manner throughout the early stages of the scene, as Hiccup is confronted by Stoic, which forces him to timidly shift things around on his desk in between his changes in posture. The small actions in between the main poses help emphasize how uncomfortable he is, as well as the subtle hand gestures after each pose when Hiccup is confronted by some uncomfortable questions. Furthermore, the usage of timing throughout the scene helped to display changes in body language as the conversation between Hiccup and Stoic progressed. This can be seen when Hiccup discovers that the conversation is about his father being proud of him, as opposed to him being furious. Body language changes from fast jittery movements to more calm and smooth movements as Hiccup stops panicking. This is also presented in a similar way with Stoic, as his initial movements are slow and intimidating, but the timing changes when Stoic gets excited and he begins to move his arms and body in fast motions to match his current emotion. Although, in terms of character action and body movement, the animation in this scene is done to a fairly realistic degree through the use of arcs, slow and slow out, straight ahead and post-to-post action, as well as follow-through and overlapping action, used in conjunction with each other to produce cohesive, fluid, and believable movement. This is presented by strong poses achieved through moving holds, the way the hair and clothes bounce and lag behind the initial movement, and the natural way the characters move as to not seem robotic. This is further assisted by easing between motions, so that some movements would occur faster than others to give the characters more personality and believability. To summarize, the overall appeal to an animated feature such as this comes from all the principles working collectively to create believable and stylized motion within an animated piece. From the animation and character expressions, we can see that techniques such as squash and stretch, as well as exaggeration, help to push aspects of the characters so that animation style is distinguishable, but also in areas of facial expression to emphasize emotions to the audience. Thus, it is clear that the principles of animation are still very prevalent and used within animated features to this day.